Greetings, everyone. Happy Friday, TGIF. What's happening? What's going on? Hope you had a great week. And thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your time. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Well, what's going on with the good people? You guys staying safe? A lot of cities are trying to open up a little bit. May not be the best idea. Folks trying to have house parties and being on the beach and bars and all this kind of stuff. But hey, What can you do? You can only take care of you, right? And your family. Here in Chicago, they're slowly opening up the next phase that we're going to be in at the end of the month, which is a couple of weeks. No more than 10 people at a time in certain areas. So that's good. That's better than just come on in, everybody, have a seat, cough, cough. And as far as with your finances, that's what I'm concerned about because some of these jobs, I'm not sure if they coming back. Folks filing for bankruptcy, and that's companies as well as individuals. Because and you can't blame them because if they've been out a month out of work for approximately 6 months, then hey, I can't blame them. They're like, hey, I can't catch up. I ain't gonna try to catch up. People have their families to feed. What they gonna do? You know. So not much more to say about that. They're talking about another stimulus package. Not quite sure how that's going to work. It's they're talking about it. They're saying, "Oh, well, we're not against it, but that doesn't mean that we're actually going to have one." So until then, I'll keep my eyes and ears open. I get some information. I'll pass it on, of course, because the peoples need to know. A lot of people talking about a lot of things. In the media or YouTube, if you want to say, and some stuff has to do with us, some don't. But we got to take care of ourselves. Yeah, done teasy and greetings. It would be a good idea because, hey, the taxpayer, we got to pay the money into the system anyway. So might as well give it to us so we can stay afloat for a little while longer. But it's going to be interesting. Um, I don't know. I don't think we'll maybe ever see anything like this again. Maybe in our lifetime. I don't know. But it's definitely interesting. Now, I do have confirmation that in the city of Chicago, so I'm assuming it's going to hit all other states as well and cities, that when these children here in Chicago go back to school, they have to have immunization. So they're going to have their, I don't even want to say cure, they're going to have their shots and pump everybody with it and let them back in school. And I never did get with the shots, and everyone has their opinion about that because you're pumping me up with the virus along with some other stuff. And I never believed that one size fit all. So what may work for this person may not work for that. And especially when they start giving them away free. I'm like, wait a minute, who gives stuff away free? Now you can think about it on the other end, I get you, but you can go ahead and think that way, and I'll stay over here and I'll think this way. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their opinion, and all opinions are welcomed. Just no fighting and stuff like that, but all opinions are welcome. And as far as with our topic tonight, I'd like to hear some stories as far as your opinion and experiences with having someone inside of your home and you just couldn't get rid of them. The bugger just didn't want to leave. You tried to flush him out, say, hey man, hey woman, you know, you ain't paid the rent or whatever the situation is. You gotta go. So that's gonna be interesting and like some people to join. And oh, look who we have here. We have the classy, classic Ruby, everyone.
I'm waving to the crowd. I just realized no one can see me, but I was legitimately doing it. I just thought everyone should know. I was waving. Good evening, Shar.
Good evening, TGIF. How are you? How are you?
Ooh, I'm doing well this Friday. It's a long weekend here. I don't know what difference that makes during the COVID-19 emergency shutdown, but it is a long weekend here. Um, in Canada, we like to call it May 2-4. If in fact, and that's referring to a 24 case of beer being on sale in Canada every weekend on this weekend, or every year on this weekend, right? So it's May 2-4 for a 24 beer. If you walk around and you ask the average person under 30 what the real holiday is, they honestly don't know. But it's actually Queen Victoria's birthday. And so we celebrate that on the Monday. So it's May 2-4 weekend and yay. So
Oh,
yay, holiday.
okay.
I wonder if
All
they'll do
right.
fireworks. I don't know if anywhere has had to navigate this type of issue. Like, I mean, this is a huge money maker for a lot of like the theme parks, like Canada's Wonderland normally does something really massive that's very expensive to get into, but like it's a really amazing show, and I can't do that. Or you can't do all of the gatherings, all the major places where normally there's fireworks. So I wonder if they will host fireworks anywhere at all. I mean, they can't risk people coming out to watch them. So I wonder what will happen. That will be sad if this is the first May 2 for Queen Victoria's birthday in my life that there was not fireworks on, especially the Monday or the Sunday. That'll be weird.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Yeah. Questions to ask.
Hmm.
Bet you a 24
Okay.
beer still on sale though. It is Canada, so we shall see tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So toast to you all.
Right? Cheers. Yeah, but now you guys know why I say cheers. It's not like a why. For us, beer. Beer reigns supreme over here. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I've been having this thing with champagne. I've been wanting to have champagne every now and again. So
Mm.
I'm trying to upgrade. I've tried the $8 bottle of champagne and it was nice, but I know there's some out there that's a little smoother. And when I
Mhm.
spoke with one of the clerks at the grocery store, they said, "Oh yeah, stop shopping at the bottom of the shelf and move on up." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, that settles that. Thank you."
Fair enough, right? Like,
Yeah, those bottles was 40, 50, $60. I said, "Oh, okay.
ooh.
I'm gonna be like Chris Rock and whatever that movie was." He said he wanted just one rib. He wanted to know what the price of one rib. So I like to know what the price is for just 3 ounces. That's all I
Right?
need.
I just need one glass.
That's it. I'm good.
Do you or would you be okay with a slightly sweeter champagne? Because I got a
Well,
suggestion. It's not that expensive.
I'm not familiar with sweet and all that, but what I looked up for extra dry,
Mhm.
they said that was next to the sweetest, I think.
Okay. I honestly don't know the terms at all. I'm just going by the flavor. And I don't know like a lot of champagnes. I just find that most of them kind of taste like almost like I don't not good to me. But I there's this one champagne I like and it's called Asti. Asti, and it has this flavor quality to it. I love it. It's the only champagne I've ever like been in love with, but I am in love with Asti. So if you want to suggest, it's not like one of those like super expensive ones. I'm pretty sure actually as far as pricing goes, it's pretty low down there for a bottle of champagne, but like it's really good in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
So
put that on my wish list and I'll get a
yeah.
chance to try some different stuff. And Herbert just suggested ice wine. I would look that up. Never heard of
Oh.
it before.
Oh no, no. If you're, if you love really, really disgustingly sweet wines, get an ice wine. Oh my God, it's like literally like drinking like the syrup out of like a cherry cheesecake. Like it's
Oh, well,
sweet.
No,
Whew.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no.
but no, thank you. No thanks.
No, no, no. No, I mean apparently some people like it's like a dessert wine, so you only drink it with dessert. And apparently if you go to a restaurant and it's paired really well and it's a good quality, then it can be a great experience, I hear. Um that has never been my experience with dessert wine, but people say it about dessert wines. Uh they're horrible. Yeah, so
Ah,
yeah.
ah. Okay. I'll stick to the extra dry, and I'll play around when some things start opening up. I'll say maybe it's safe at the end of the year. I'll go somewhere and try a glass of different stuff, and that way I can learn what I really like.
Oh yeah, that's that. Do they do that like with champagnes where you can go and do like a tasting the same way you could go for like wine tastings?
They do. They're not as popular as the wine tastings, but they do have them in Chicago.
Oh, that's neat. I would definitely want to try that too over a wine tasting for me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, as far as the title here, we're talking about removing someone from the house. Now, I don't have, with the information I given the person was the legal stuff. I'm going to talk about the illegal stuff. And we'll welcome people to the panel and they can share their stories because I'm sure they have a couple of those themselves. So I'll go ahead and share the screen and then play um, the letter. And then I'm going to show a little clip from Sanford and Son where the woman, Aunt Emma, that's her name, and she started off where she was going to, leave and she gonna do this, she gonna clean up, but she had all these ailments. She always had something going on with her, and I'm sure maybe you guys may know that person too. You came across of them.
All
Okay, let
right.
me remove some of the banners because I don't know if that's gonna affect it. Maybe not. I'll leave them there. Let's see what happens. All right, let's share a screen. Yes, Chandra, it was cousin Emma. It was Grady's aunt. No, cousin, I mean, and it was so funny. That's one of my favorite episodes. She says she's gonna cook breakfast in the morning, and she always had some problem. Okay, so here is my video. Hope the audio is good. You guys will let me know. And here we go.
Is it playing yet?
It is. You hear
Oh,
nothing,
okay.
huh?
No, not not a thing.
Oh, boo.
Right?
Oh, you know what? I didn't hit the share audio.
Uh
You have to hit that. I forgot
gotta
you
love
have to
that.
hit that.
Yep.
Okay, so it was me this time. That's all right then. We can correct human error here. Let's see.
It's normally something so
Go
complicated and
back.
technical. It's like, oh, I didn't click this button. Got it. Like,
Yeah, and I get it why they separate it because some stuff, is copywritten. You can't play it, and YouTube will shut you down. So I do get that. It's just I got used to just saying, "Oh, this a play." Okay, here we go. Let's try this one more again. To begin. She writes, "Hello, Shar. I have a family member living with me on a temporary basis. She only supposed to be staying with us for 3 months and have moved into the 6th month on the calendar. When I mentioned that she's gone past the original agreement, she tries to explain.
I know what kind of jobs are out there, and she's still looking for the best position with benefits because healthcare is important to have. After our conversation, she constantly states how she knows she's been living past her time and she don't want to be a burden. She mentions it every day, and I think she is trying to make me feel guilty. She doesn't eat our food, but she does use everything else in the house, and she doesn't clean up, and she moves things around, which makes me angry when I go to look for these items and it's not in its proper place. How would you handle this? Okay, well, thank you so much for your letter.
Alrighty. And I'm sure you
Okay.
heard it because you didn't say anything.
Yes. I definitely
All
did this
right.
time.
All right. Good deal. And you guys heard it. I didn't see you guys say, I don't hear anything. So I'm assuming that you did hear it. The woman stayed past her time, supposed to have been, I think, 3 months and end up being 6 months. And hey, they talking about couldn't find a job or looking for it, all the normal, excuses.
Hmm.
And yeah, and stuff is costing money. So they want the person to skedaddle.
Fair enough. Was this a friend or like a family member?
It was a family member.
Okay. Hmm. I think this one's an interesting one because to me, it comes down to, are you hiding behind finances as a reason and you really want to get rid of the person? Or would you actually be okay with that person still living in your house if they were footing more of a bill? Right? And I guess that's kind of like what I wonder for myself personally with this one because there are people where honestly like you just don't want them in your house anymore. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I let you live
Hmm.
here, but I can't stand you. And I won't kick you out because I said I'd let you stay here. But like, man, I can't stand you. And then there are other people, so I just can't afford you. Right? Like, literally, unless I know you're only here because you have no income, but unless you bring in income here, I can't bring in more income. I'm not going to pick up more shifts or get a second job to support you. So you need to do something, right? And I'm like, if it's the first one, first you got to get honest with yourself, and then you got to get honest with the other person. You don't have to be like, I can't stand you. Um, but like I don't know where you need to go from here, but you have to leave. um I would say that the second one, though, whereas, and if you actually are okay with them staying, to say like, hey, listen, I know the job market's not great, and I know you would rather have something really solid for you to, step out there and so on and so forth, but you're going to need to be doing some immediate work like in the next 7 days and pulling in some income to contribute to the household. Otherwise, I can't afford you to be here anymore. Right? Um, in either
Yeah.
case, it's just about you being honest, like, and upfront. This is not your child, and therefore not your responsibility. If they don't have anyone else, there are shelters. There's a whole bunch of other options for people who are homeless. Like, as sad as that is to say, friend or family
Yeah.
member, they're homeless. So they gotta act with a little bit of grace as well. That is to say, to sit there and be like, well, I'm just going to sit on my hands until the right job that I personally want to work at comes around. Like, I bet you didn't do that for you to have to pay your bills. I bet you do lots of things every day and put up with all kinds of bullshit from your boss so you can pay your bills. And so the least they can do is meet you halfway with that. So that's what I think.
I agree with you. And also, I've seen people that really don't care. They're comfortable. They're cool. They don't really see, and the key word see. they don't see where there is a problem or they are a problem
Mm.
because you're getting along, everything is provided for them. They don't see where you're lacking. And some people look at that and say, "Oh, well, everything is good here. I don't see what the problem is. What's the problem?" But in the letter, I had mentioned a situation I had that I don't think I said it was a family member, but it actually was. And when the third month came and there was no money, now was the problem because that was the whole deal. When you sit and talk with someone and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we agree to, then that's what we should be doing. It shouldn't be anything different unless you something you can't foresee. Things happen. Think about just like the pandemic. No
Mhm.
one expected anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
So I get that, but in this situation, none of those things apply. And the third month came. I'm like, okay, need some money in a light bill because a young person, hey, they got their devices going on. They just everything. They do a little bit more um, than someone that's older. They just
Mhm.
do. So she was using curling iron every day. That was electronic. Took electricity. Um, phone. What else? Lights. All those things, and the stuff adds up. So by the third month, when there was nothing in that 90th day, I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? Oh, I'm gonna do something. Do something. This is we had already planned that something's supposed to be done, not do something. Where's the money? And
Mhm.
once I approached my family members with that information, then they started to try to give me a slow fade. And I mentioned that in the letter. That's what some people do. They're like, I don't want to make any changes. I don't want to do anything differently. I don't appreciate that you want something from me. So I'm just going to leave. I'm going to give you the slow fade. So instead of you seeing me 7 days a week, you'll see me 5. I'm going to see how
Mm.
you act. Then 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're just gone altogether. And that's the slow fade I got from my family member. And I never did get that money
Mm.
toward um, electric bill because that's the only thing I asked for. I'm like, well, the rent is going to be the same. You're already eating some of the food that we have. It wasn't anything really extra, and you're eating, getting stuff on your own. So all the person was required to do is just pay toward the light bill. That's it.
Mhm.
That was it. One bill, and I couldn't even get that, paid. So, like I said, I got the slow fade, and that was it. So I mentioned it in the letter because I was telling the person, talk to them, get your, the people you live with, your family, and have a conversation with them because you may love that family member, but the family member that you're living with or your members, it could be, your spouse. They're not kin to that person. They don't have that same love and affection that you have.
Mm.
So talk with your spouse, your children, whoever's in your household. Say, look, I know this person was supposed to be been gone. It's they're 3 months overdue,
Mm.
and I'm going to talk to them. Let's
Mm.
agree to a specific amount of time. Let's give them another 30 days. If they don't find work, don't help, or whichever we agree to, then they have to go. Well, do we agree
Mm.
on that? Then once you clear it with that family, your regular family, then you go to that person that's living with you, that family member, say we spoke about it, me and the family, we came up with this. This is something that you're going to have to abide by. If you're not able to, then you have to vacate the premises in 30 days.
Mhm.
Because they already went past it and you didn't say anything. And that's another thing. You can't let things go,
Right.
um, because if you do, it's going to become more and more uncomfortable trying to say something to that person
Right.
because they're all happy and jolly. They're like, "Oh, it's good, I got a nice place to stay and everything. We cool, we hanging out." Because sometimes the person that you have living with you or people you have living with you, you get along just fine.
Right. Yep.
And who wants in the middle of a whatever or after a nice card game and beers,
Hmm.
um hey Jerry, I hate to bring this up, good game, we had a good game, yeah. But the bills are due and it's been 6 months and you know
Hmm.
you ain't working, you know
Yep.
um um so what, you got his beer in him. Oh, so what, it's like that now, huh? So when is it a good time to bring it up? So the best time to bring it up is when it happens.
Right.
That's just the bottom line.
Hmm. That is so true. I think the thing is, right, because and like a lot of people don't even know where I live. So I mean, to begin with, I'm
Hmm.
hard pressed to let people inside of my house, even to visit me, even for a day. Um, so let alone for you to live with me. So I'm considering these circumstances like you have to be like my mama or something, and your house burned down, and like I mean, like honestly, like I'm hard pressed. I am a hard pressed. There's very few people that have ever stayed at my house for any period of time. Like, like a one night sleepover because, we both went out last night or something short, but like for an extended period of time, very few people. And luckily for me, those have all been people who felt some ways about doing it. Now, in all fairness, they were A, sleeping on a couch, and B, while my husband and I live together. So it becomes way more awkward, because every single day it's not just the fact that I am wanting you there or not. It's my husband who's going to work, coming home. Now you're in his space. You know what I mean? And you're
Right.
you're acutely aware of that all the time. So it doesn't allow you to get comfortable in the same way. Like they'll stay, right? But they're never taking it for granted that they're staying. You know what I mean? Because they would feel, and he would always ask, like, hey, so any luck with that job search? Or you know what I mean? Just like, and not trying to like, grill them, but just in a friendly kind of way. Like I never forgot. And and unfortunately a lot of people let it slide. We're having such a good time. I don't want you to feel pressured or, whatever. So I'm just not going to bring it up for 30 days that you're supposed to be looking for a job or supposed to be looking for a place to live or, something like that. And it's like, nah, you never let it slide. Oh, hey, so how did the job search go today? If you start that on day 2 or day 4, you know what I mean? Then it's
Right.
not like you're doing it just because time's ticking, you need to get out soon. You're doing it because you care. You're invested in their success, you know? And so, okay, let me know if there's anything I could do to help, or, I'll keep my ears open, doing stuff like that. If you start all those suggestions at the beginning, then it's so much easier when 3 weeks have gone by and you guys said 6 and you haven't seen any movement for you to start saying more or start
Hmm.
dropping gentle hints, suggestions, reminders in a deeper way throughout the day instead of just asking them at the end of the day and whatever, because I'm such a like Shar, I'm telling you, I have such a conflict avoidance issue. Like, I
Mm.
hate being in uncomfortable situations. I hate it. It makes me feel so bad to make anyone feel unwelcome or unwanted, or to start a fight with people. I hate all that. Right. So I'm
Uh-huh.
pre planning before you've ever stepped foot in my house. I am pre planning the best way possible to assure that never happens. And that's what it is. You just be like, I was so proactive with my last friend he stayed on a couch for like, I don't know, I'll say like 2 months on and off. And we were like, literally, I'd be like, oh hey, as soon as I woke up, kind of thing. Be like, hey, how did the, are
Uh-huh.
you looking for those jobs right now? Yeah, okay, hey, let's go out for a smoke, whatever. We talk about it, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, my friend was telling me about this place, blah blah blah. Like I constantly stayed in it, but like in a friend way. Not like in a I want you the hell out of my house way, but like in a, oh no, I just care about your well-being kind of way. No pressure, no nothing else. You get to eat the food, we chill, we had a great time, and but you feel like I'm invested in your success, not just in your getting the hell out of my house. So
Right. Well, that's understandable. I I like your plan A, B, and C. Those are plans that you have. Sometimes you get a little monkey wrench thrown in there. I'll play this clip that I was speaking of cousin Emma from this particular episode from Sanford and Son.
Oh,
I'll play a little bit of it. I don't know what I'm able to, so maybe 10 seconds. I'm not gonna play that much. Ain't
right.
gonna get me. All right, make sure I do share audio this time.
Right.
All right.
Well, I don't want to waste no time now. I want a job and a place to live. Have you got this morning's paper so I can look up the want ads?
All right. That's all I'm gonna play.
That was fast. That was real fast. You were not played today. I will not be struck today, sir. Not today.
She says she want a paper for the one ad. She don't want to be no bird or nothing. But the episode is really a mess though, because like I said, she had every excuse in the book. She was originally going to fix them breakfast, and she talked about the food she was going to make them. And then next thing you know, she got a crook in the back. Oh, I woke up crooked.
Mm.
Then she gonna clean up. Oh, my legs, my back, my neck, and my back. So she always had an excuse. So they end up trying to get rid of her. They made up this thing called the Junkman itch.
Mhm.
And actually to this day, I actually use that little technique. And the reason I'll use it is because what happens, you never know if you're in a situation in an elevator and it's uncomfortable and you with a man and it's just you and a man
Mhm.
and you feel a little like something ain't right. So I just start scratching. And then I started just really scratching. And that's what they did for the Junkman itch. So um, I think Lamont started. That's the son. He started first. He's like, man, what the world? Grady, oh, Grady, you scratching too? Oh, no, you got it too? And she looking like, what the world? Oh, yes, a Junkman itch. Oh, and I mean, I'm going to get in the tub first. No, and then they pretended, they gonna run upstairs and get in the tub. And shoot, she was ready to get up out of there. She packed her stuff. She was gone.
That's hilarious. Well, and that's what that's a fair point, right? Because a really great way of getting someone to go when they've worn out their welcome is to make them want to leave, right? Without you looking like an asshole. You don't want to be the bad guy necessarily, right? You want to make them run out. So you found bed bugs on your own bed. We just got to check yours really quick. I mean, anything, right? People don't want to be infected by nothing. That is a big reason to run from anything, right? I do not want to be infected by you. So that's a good strategy. I like that one.
Right.
You know what though? I'll say this: I would have fixed her from the very first thing, right? So you want the paper for the want ads to become? Let's go walk. I will show you where you can go buy them. Like, and you be walking with me from the very beginning. There's nothing I would do to help you. Nothing from the beginning, because I feel like when we do that, and like we invest ourselves too much in helping someone else help themselves, we kind of infantilize them, right? We start almost
Mhm.
taking their own power away. And I want it to go the opposite. I don't want this to feel like coming back home to mama's house, right? Like that's for sure not how I want you to feel at my house, because I'm not your mother and I don't want you to confuse that. Um, but from that first time when she was like, "Oh, I was gonna cook breakfast, but oh my back and whatever," I'd be like, "Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, cool. Well, don't worry. Me and the family will be back in a bit." Why? "Oh, we're gonna go out for breakfast. Can I come?" "No, no, no. You should rest your back. Trust me." That whole excuse. I wish I would fix you good. We're gonna eat. You're just not coming with us. You know. But maybe you'll feel better a little bit later. You can make yourself something. Make yourself something. Right? It's not going to be my responsibility to feed you today because your back hurts, because you're not my child and you're not my responsibility. You're not here for me to be your caretaker, right? You needed somewhere to crash. I'm somewhere to crash that you can trust won't hurt you, but that doesn't mean I'm going to take care of you. You know what I mean? I would have fixed her good. Trust me. Mm, You can't play with Ruby, right? For all I don't like conflict and stuff, you start playing with me, a whole new side of Ruby comes out. Like, you want to give me the slow fade? You do it the first week, I'm not sure, right? You do it the second week,
Uh-huh.
now I see your game. You start doing it on the third week, one of them days, you're gonna come home to every single door, all the locks changed, and your stuff neatly packed up in a box or several boxes, whatever it is, on the porch, and that's gonna be it. There's a slow fade, so you can try to find yourself comfortable accommodations elsewhere, because that's what you're doing. Otherwise, you just leave, right? You don't have anywhere secured. That's not my problem. If you wanted to continue staying here, you would have paid me money 2.5 weeks ago. So I would have done it quick. That for that night you didn't come home, I wait, right? Because I am a night owl. I got all night. 6 a.m. right? Around 5 a.m. You still are home, and I know you wouldn't come home at that point. That's it. I'd start packing. Your stuff would be boxed up, locks all changed and everything. You come, you ring the doorbell, be like, "Sorry, no one's home." I would say it. "Sorry, no one's home." Come on,
Now,
can't we talk about this? We did 2.5 weeks ago. You
remember?
right? You were there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, with that being said, there are some laws in certain states that when some people, whoever you invite in your home, 30 days, that's considered a residence. You actually have to give them a notice and give them 30 days to leave.
Shar, in that box there would be a letter dated from 30 days ago that I gave them notice to leave. 30 days. I could put whatever date I want on anything. Like what? Like like what do you mean? There'd be a letter in the box. They would think they had me. The letter would be there. I would find something they signed inside of their room, and I would trace their signature. Trust me. Listen, you cannot play with Ruby. I will play with you harder. Do not play with me, because I'm a very generous person. So if you're gonna like do something like that, I will take it to heart, and then my devious mind gets activated. That mammalian brain that we all have, that evil devious genius that all women have inside of them. This is what it gets triggered for. I will get you. You ain't coming back in this house.
She's gonna get you.
I will
Yeah.
get you.
There was I like your style though. Uh I had a conversation. I had a aunt who was renting out her house. I think this the house that her and the husband lived in before divorce. And she was renting out the property. And the guy didn't want to leave. And she was telling me this, and I'm trying to figure out how is this a problem? And especially since she has a son that's a police officer. I'm like, how is this a problem? I'm not understanding this. Now, whether he's a police officer or not, this is what I suggested to her, or at least this is what I told her I would do. Then I suggested she do it too. I said, well, um, get it, go in the house when he's good and sleep, about 3:30 in the morning, got that sleep going on, you know. I don't know what realm that is, but it's one of them realms he in.
Mhm.
Go ahead, um, Go in there and kidnap him. Put something over his head, over his mouth, drag him out that house, throw him in the back of a van, just however he's dressed with his underwear on, no shoes, nothing. S- Drive out far, far away, miles away. He has nothing. Dump him out and then go ahead about your day. A- About time he gets back, he would consider not wanting to sleep in that house again, if nothing else.
That's so extreme.
Oh, yeah. I sure suggested that to her. I'm like, why not? You want him out, don't you?
Th- That's true though. I'm not even gonna lie. That is so true. A and B. I can't say I wouldn't do it. It depends on how far you push my generosity, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. Oh, tell me some. I got your eviction for you.
mhm, right?
Oh,
Go
I
about
got
my
your
day.
eviction.
Yeah, when you come, I'm not even gonna. Oh my God, someone kidnapped you? Did you call the police? Right? I'm not gonna sit there and say I will play right along with you. I have no idea who did it. There's nothing disturbed. Are you sure? Do you have any angry ex girlfriends? Anything like that? I don't know. I, I don't know. I don't know who could have ever done this to you. I would just sit there and just play stupid, right? You can't get me to admit nothing on tape. Nothing. Nope. I have no idea. You're just gonna hear a concerned citizen. I can't believe this happened to you. Mhm,
Wow, that is something else. It must be something. I gotta check with the neighbors and see what we can do because I need to because you're moving out soon. It's time for you to leave, and
mhm.
I'm gonna have to get some security bars or something because people breaking in. I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to rent that property out once you're gone.
Right?
And yeah.
That's terrifying. Thank God they didn't get into the big house. You know what? Let me check and see if any of the locks were compromised. How did they get in? Man, trust
Oh
me.
yeah. Oh yeah. And I wouldn't give him more than 3 days if he still don't want to move. Okay, well, we got to step it up a notch.
That's-
Now we're going to have to keep you and not just dump you out. We're going to keep you for a couple of days now. Since you
Mhm.
don't want to leave, oh well, we'll just have to keep you for, a couple of days. He won't die. I'll give him water. That's about all he's going to get though.
I
That's
think
it.
I think after the first time the message will be loud and clear. They might stay for I know I'll give them 7 days because the first few days the thing is they're going to be so sleep deprived they're not going to be able to think to leave, right? Like it's just like I'm terrified to go, I'm terrified to stay. Was it them? Was it not them? What if it's not them and I go somewhere, right? So it can take you a minute, right? All you got to do is do a couple little like threatening things at night, or they wake up to a dead rat on the doorstep, stuff like that. And yeah, I'd say 7 days. 7 days before you have to move on to, upping the ante. I think you could get away with just doing a few more small things they don't catch you doing, but it's clear they're targeting you and not the house members. We stay ignorant of it the whole time. You know what I
3 days. That's all he gonna get. He ain't gonna get too comfortable. I want you out.
mean?
We're gonna keep. I'm gonna keep. Let it happen again. Let's say he gets back to the house after he finds his way back home.
Mhm.
Okay, well, you just want to be hard headed. It's gonna get worse and worse. Now I gotta um have booby traps. I'm gonna have to make up noise. Have people to come in there and come visit you. You're gonna wake up through the night. Somebody be standing over you. We got. Hey, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, so petty. I love it.
And welcome BMT to the panel. Would you
Hey,
like to join the
BMT.
conversation?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? What's going on? Uh,
Greetings, greetings.
uh, I've had my fair share of roommates. I've had my fair share of tenants. that have
Oh,
overstayed their welcome. I guess they'll they get a little big for their britches and stuff. So I mean, I've been there to
mm,
where this kind of situation has happened, and sometimes you have to um not that I will legally advise anyone to do that, but it has happened um in my fair share of life, and especially with family. That's why we sometimes have our own set rule: never rent out or never get too cozy with family. Um, because there's always the guilty issue, or I had a cousin of ours. We won't call him a slouch. Might as well. Um, every time we have to pay rent, like it was like some plague or locust that always happened, and I'm like, well, damn, like what's wrong? And he'll have his situation or his issues, and baby mama or some people will be living there and stuff like that. I think the most he had living in that place was at least up to like no more than like 5 people living up in there. And I was like, listen, man, we're just trying to help you get on your feet. But however, you're making it harder, so we're gonna have to let you go. And his mom will call and stuff like that. But grandma was like, the best way to do that is you gotta make them feel uncomfortable. You gotta just take away the comfortableness. But like, and so we just started charging him. We started charging him. Of course, he didn't have money, so we started cutting off the power, cutting off the heat, cutting off everything. And it was amazing because he was like, I think one time he even tried to run a power cord from our house all the way to the property.
Wow.
And I was like,
Touch.
"Damn." I was like, you are really, really trying. Like you actually are trying. Like I'm not even mad at you. A for effort for the trying.
yeah.
Like, and he was like, man, I think it was to get through with him because he was like, somebody cut off the power, and I was like, yeah. Like I said, why do you
That's
think the
what
power?
happened.
But in his mind, it's like some people cannot do no wrong, or can't see that. Hey, why is this happening to me? So,
Yeah.
um, like I said, it's like it's more so the guilty. They'll play your nerve to say, hey, like you know what, um, what would grandma do, or how would y'all, how what would my auntie or whoever think about it? I said, you know what the hell with it, like if you truly cared about me, then pay me. And they were like, well, I don't have the money, so I don't have the compassion. My compassion costs. So I still see him at church, to this day, if I ever do see him. But he ain't had the money. But sometimes you got to understand that some people will take advantage of your said kindness and love, and you got to sometimes just be willing to say, "Hey, man, like I just got to let it go for right now, and we got to just chalk up that L and just let this person, fend for themselves with the wolves." And and it was a sad truth that I had to do that with him. Um, he said I'm gonna tell grandma and mama and all that said stuff. And I'm like, you're a grown man. How you gonna run to your parents like that? Like but sometimes ladies, y'all gotta be careful how y'all raise y'all boys, and they get a little jelly back with his girl. She was like, can I come over and wash off or stuff like that? And I'm like, well, damn, y'all gotten real comfortable. Like, y'all want to wash off and everything. Like, and they come and asking my kids, can they sneak them food and stuff in their house? And no, I said, I think it's time for you to go. So you got to be very mindful of these kind of things. I didn't have to kidnap anybody, but I damn sure knew that
That's good.
once you start cutting out power, and you start making it where it's less accessible for anybody to live in these said places. You know what I'm saying? Uh, that's you got to do that for some people. You know what I'm saying? And I think the one thing he got upset was I locked. blocking the gate, so he couldn't get into the property. Um, so he tried to be slick and drive his car through the ditch, and his car got stuck in the ditch. So we know he's not the brightest one in the family. It's not.
Well, I'm gonna add to that. I like what you mentioned. I put a hashtag in here. Um, compassion costs. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. But see, people they think they're slick, and everyone grows up in. Well, most people grow up in a household where you'll hear, "Turn that light off. Keep that door closed.
Yeah.
Stop leaving that door open." You hear that growing up. So you start learning about, because the person that's paying the bills, they're going to tell you, that, "I ain't got no money for that. It costs too much. Close that window up. Open that window. Turn that fan." Whatever. They're going to constantly yell that. So growing up, you're going to learn that it costs. Then they're
Mm-hmm.
going to start asking you for money. And let's say that they don't ask you for money. They're sure going to try to limit what you use. So when that person go to someone else's house, the conversation is had,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to play games. Okay, go ahead and play games. But they already know. And it's not even that you need to talk to them again. Well, it costs, and blah, blah, blah. People are actually just trying to, get over on you. And that's the unfortunate part, you know?
Oh yeah. And to add even further, and I want to stress this, that there really are times and circumstances where the person who gave you 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is, really had all intentions of that 3 weeks or a month or whatever, and things really didn't work out for them because you know what? Listen, the job market is slow right now. No one's hiring, or they were not able to get an apartment on their own. Things like that. Things that they really didn't think were going to be a problem. You know what I mean? They're trying everything they can to save up money, but the newspaper route ain't paying much, like whatever. But you see that they're making an effort. And I've had people stay at my house, and the ones that I know are really making an effort, what I find is they try to pay me with sweat equity, right?
Hmm.
And they're doing that almost from day one, right? Like they just I make dinner or whatever, they'd be like, no, no, don't worry about it, I'll clean up the dishes, and I come back, the whole kitchen's sparkling, and I'll just see them sweeping, or doing some yard work. They're trying to make life easier because they know that financially they can't say thank you, so they're gonna try to do it with manual labor basically to pay me back. And it's like, okay, or offer to go run do the groceries if I give them a list, or again, the sweat equity. So it's like, I can't afford to pay you right now, but to show you my appreciation, I'm going to do something. And they don't say that out loud in words, but you see it from their actions. um, but I wanted to add a point here, because there is a difference between having someone in a closed off space from your main house and having someone actually as a guest inside of your home. And to illustrate that point, right? And this is another reason why I would be hard pressed to let someone come to my house. I'm very picky about who even knows where I live, because I'm a very paranoid person, and I think the whole world's going to try to kill me at some point. And if you
Okay.
think maybe I'm overreacting a little bit, so I'll tell you the story of my uncle. Yes, my uncle. He's actually the father of the two kids that were my cousins that I told you were, they had the big warrant in Canada. Um,
Hmm.
so now my uncle, he got pulled over several times for smoking weed while driving. This is very important because he owned a logistics, i.e., trucking company, and was a trucker. This is how he made his money. So when, the final straw came and he lost his license for a year, he lost everything. And I mean, he kind of gave up. He gave up on life. He gave up on hope. He wasn't even going to sell his house. He was just going to let the bank take it. He let the bank take his, 20, $30,000 worth of trucks from him, just like he just gave up initially. And then he went away to Jamaica, and he came back, and he was slightly less broken, but still lost in the world, right? What's he ever going to do if he can't drive trucks? He doesn't know who he is. And the one person to take him in, not
Mm.
his mother, not one of his blood relations, but his stepfather, my grandmother's husband, and a man who he had spent his entire life from the time my grandmother had been with my grandfather disrespecting, like really disrespecting severely. So, but my grandfather, he's like, I still have the house. There's 3 rooms, where you kids used to sleep. So come, you can take the basement apartment downstairs and pull your stuff together, right? And we were all really surprised by this because they were not even remotely friendly, not at all. My uncle was so disrespectful to this man. But over the course of 5 years, my uncle slowly put his life together as my grandfather coddled him back to health. My uncle did not work during this time.
Okay.
Okay. My grandfather would cook for him, clean for him, pick him up stuff, sit down, keep him company, all kinds of stuff, right? I mean, my grandfather was like the greatest, to the point where my uncle, by the end of that 5 years, was singing his magical praises. Um, Now, I'm not going to paint all of the details about how it is that they had any kind of falling out. But suffice it
Uh-huh.
to say that my grandfather, my grandmother, and my uncle all live in this house now. It's about 7 years later. The only person who works inside of the house is my grandfather. And my uncle has gone back to being a snarly, snooty, I hate this man, gonna disrespect him all the time person.
Oh.
And so what my uncle liked to do is blast his music like he was a petulant teenager, like super loud, and then fall asleep after smoking weed. Like he loved to do that, which my grandfather, who has a 5 a.m. wake up time, could not sleep. So he would ask him to turn down the music. My uncle didn't want to turn down the music because he's a child. And one day my grandfather said, enough is enough. But again, they live in the same space. This is where the problem comes in. So my grandfather went down to the box in the laundry room, which is on the same level as my uncle's room,
Mm-hmm.
and turned off. All he did was turn off the electricity temporarily and turn it back on, just so it would turn off the music. Because, an hour had gone by. My uncle's clearly asleep. So he turned off the electricity, turned it back on, and then went back up to his room. My uncle comes out in a hissy fit. How dare you? You can't mess with my music. I'm a grown man. I can listen to what I want, blah, 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 yelling, screaming, this whole ridiculousness. And he
Wow.
goes, storms back into the bedroom, turns on the music. My grandfather decides to wait him out again. Figures must be asleep now. Went downstairs, did the same thing. We had the exact same result. My grandfather now says, I'm the one who pays this bill. I can turn off the electricity if I want. I could literally call tomorrow and turn off the whole electricity. None of y'all could turn it on because you don't have any money. So all I want is to be able to sleep. I have to get up in 3 hours. Okay? This is ridiculous now. Please have some respect for me in my own damn house. Some respect, some appreciation, something.
Okay.
My grandfather gets into his bedroom. My uncle turns the music on again. So,
Mm.
and my grandfather waited. He still waited. He's just trying to wait him out. So that way he can just get a couple hours sleep in his own home so he can go pay the bills and feed everybody who lives in this house, none of whom are related to him at this point. Um,
Mm.
my grandfather goes to do the same thing he did the previous 2 times, only this time my uncle was ready. And so after my grandfather turned off the electricity, turned it back on, came out of the laundry room, my uncle came at him with a machete and attacked him with the machete. I mean, like hacked at him with a machete. There was blood everywhere.
Wow. So
Yes.
well.
Yes, for turning off his music. Like he's a child, not a 52-year-old man who had never gone to jail before. So now this is to keep that perspective, right? Is that when you have someone in your enclosed space, I mean, there are levels of petty I think you could reach, and there are levels of petty you can't. You have to also kind of know who you're assessing, but you do put yourself into a type of danger when you say yes to someone to begin with. Because if things go wrong, how does this person react to that kind of extreme stress? They might take it as extreme stress, and anything's possible. And that's the thing I fear, are the consequences to people acting insanely, despite the fact that I've been so kind and generous to them already.
Mm. There's movies about that where you have a tenant and they just take over your place.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, so, it's real out here.
Yeah.
It's really real out here. That's why I was just saying for me, um, your where you live should be a place, your sanctuary. You should be able to be comfortable because you go out in the world and you have to deal with that.
Mhm.
When I come home, that place should be just waiting on me. It should be comfortable, it should be nice and whatever temperature I want it. I shouldn't have to deal with the things outside, inside my home. I don't want any drama in there.
Mhm.
Now, people are people. I get, sometimes you a person may be ill or had a bad day at work. You're talking about it. You might burn something in the kitchen. Got to get rid of the odor, whatever. I'm not talking about those little things. I'm talking about somebody that's not going to pay a bill. That's stress on you. You're
Mhm.
looking at it, or just the fact that maybe you do have the money, but why should I have to take on that? I haven't adopted this person, especially if
Right.
they're an adult and they're able to do so. And then you got to come up with your reasons of why you're letting someone come in your home. Because sometimes someone can be going through a bad breakup and they just need a place to stay for a little while.
Mhm.
Okay, got that. Um, Someone could have been in a fire and they need a place to stay. So, all those things in consideration, I take them. But if you're just needing a break, because some people need a break. Hey, I lived at this city. It didn't work out for whatever reasons. I need to relocate. Can I come there, get on my feet, and move out? Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Mhm.
And you can tell if that person, if they took care of their home where they lived, they paid their bills and all that, then chances are they'll do the right thing.
Mhm.
But you have those that just want to just eat off of you.
Mhm. That is so true. I guess, I mean, is it wrong to think of, this in terms of like prenuptials? You know what I mean? Like some people get really insulted when you require a contract pre-marriage. But, should we require a contract and just, hey, listen, I agree to this. You're saying you need this. I agree to that. Let's just put that on paper. So neither of us is unclear about what we've agreed to. Would that be so bad of a thing to propose? Anytime you allow someone to stay at your house more than like, I'm going to crash here for a day on the weekend because we're going somewhere together?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a contract that may work out for you in the end because you have people that try to take advantage of you. Now, BMT mentioned family. That's one thing we hear all the time. The family try to, take advantage of you. But it really, for whoever it is, make a contract. If this is something that you plan to do anyway, you said that you're going to do it, it shouldn't be a big issue putting it on paper. And if it
Hmm.
becomes an issue, well, we have it on paper in case I want you out the 49th day and I gave you 60.
Mm,
Or you don't want to leave on day 60. I got my paper, so everybody's covered. There is something I like that I heard Susie Orman say about, ooh, it's been a long time, maybe 15 years ago. She said, get yourself, have a prenuptial agreement while you guys still like each other. And I thought it was kind of funny the way she said it, but it makes sense because everything is fine. I love you, boo. I love you too. Googie, googie, goo. You know I ain't gonna do nothing to you. You know you my boo. I ain't gonna do nothing to you either. Okay, let's sign this paper. Okay. Googie, googie, goo. So while you're in that phase, separate your finances, figure out what you're gonna do and agree to. So if it comes, to an end, I hate him. I hate you. Arr, arr. At least you have your, everything in writing and it'll make it
Yeah.
easier for you guys to separate. At least on paper, maybe not mentally, but
Right.
at least on paper.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, I'm one of those people where I always felt like if someone required a prenup from me, then this is
Hmm.
probably not a marriage I should be entering into, because there's not enough um understanding or trust between us, that and also I guess more like of a mutuality, that is to say, as in I'm the type of person, like if you were anything like me, then you would also not need a prenup. That is to say, like I will choose the way that is going to benefit you the most over benefiting myself. That's just the way that I am. So on one side it would be like, you don't know that about me. On the other side, though, do we really understand each other? Do we really see the world the same way? Do we really trust each other? And it's like, I can't say that necessarily the answer would be no to all three of those questions if, you required a prenup. But at the same time, I kind of feel like the answer would have to be no to at least one of them. Um, unless you just know that you're a greedy little snake, especially when you're angry or something. You know what I mean? Which in that case, yeah, I guess you both need a prenup and you're both good with that. But I don't know. I just always kind of felt like a prenup would be a little bit insulting. Like you can't trust me at my word. Which then, if someone came to me and said, "Well, you want me to write a contract for staying at your house for a month, like what, you don't trust me, like obviously you think I'm shady," and got offended. I'm one of those people who would buy right into that, even if it was a ploy, because I would feel that way. Like I would do it because you asked me to, but I would feel some way about it. Like, well, you don't just trust that I'll just leave at 30 days unless you specifically ask me to stay. Like, I don't know. See, but
Oh, you
yeah, I
don't
know.
feel good. Oh, the poor baby. Go ahead and let it out.
I know.
Yes, let it out.
The-
Yes.
you know, but the thing about it is this,
Hold
and
on.
I want to throw this at y'all that I remember we hear a lot in these set spaces the "woe was me" sympathy story, and I can't believe my girl threw me out. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe that. Now maybe it's the goddamn tenant in me or the goddamn landlord. Sometimes I don't know. I be trying to turn that button off, but I'm always like, can I see the goddamn eviction notice? Why are you asking that question, BNP? Yeah, man, who fired you on? I'm like, I just want to see what happened. Like, just I just need to know what the paperwork.
Hmm.
Why did she kick you out? Like, did you have a job? Did you have a job? Did you have said things like what were you doing? You know what I'm saying? Well, I was taking care of my child. Okay, I get it. Now, brothers, I'm talking to y'all as men. So I love y'all. Love don't pay the bills. I just want to understand that. Penis don't pay the bills. I know we like to think that sometimes, that I'm giving her good loving in the goddamn bedroom. Surely that literally covers my $928 in the house. It don't. I'm trying to let you know. Sooner or later, some people are gonna be like, "Well, damn, nigga, like, where's your money? Oh, it's gonna come. It's gonna come." Like, sometimes you gotta be proactive. Now, if you don't got a job and one of y'all's watching the kid, you can't just turn on the TV and you call that babysit. You got to do some more. I gotta ask you, brothers, do some more stuff. Okay, I'm not beating you up, but okay. But I will tell you, maybe it doesn't hurt to teach your kid how to read. Maybe start them out on some math. Do some extracurricular stuff. Take them out to like a little set. You don't have to spend money. Take them out and teach them some stuff outside. If you're gonna have to be stay at home daddy daycare. Better yet, a little hustle. I told my friend on, shout out to me. I said, hey, ask her friend, can you watch her kid too? And also that way she'll give her some money. So that way you'll have your own little set. But don't take too many kids. Probably like your kid and another kid, and you'll have some money. So that way it'll take the edge off, you know. So sometimes we can't just think that, hey, I am automatically entitled to doggone a place in here because I know the person. And I know sometimes we hear these said stories. Same thing for females. Just because that's your, I always tell people complacency gets you in trouble because we feel that hey, we're entitled. I was that bum nigga on the couch. I know. I was listen. I was playing 2K. You know what I'm saying? Sharing huggies with the baby and shit. You know, doggone. We having Caillou time, and she was like, "Negro, when you gonna be a man?" Hold on, I am a man. What are you talking about? I'm your man. I drive the car. I take you to work. I do. She's like, I could do all that shit myself. You know? Okay, but I'm your man. Why are you complaining? Yes, I was a Jody, but after a while, I'm like, well, damn, baby, what's wrong? But then I realized that you know what? Whenever I want to go out, I'd be going to her goddamn purse. Ruby, you got some extra money from work. Let me just take this $120 out. I'll put $60 back. I'm gonna go pay some lottery tickets, get me some food from the grocery store, and bring you some food back. And I was doing that. And of course, your girl gonna say, "Oh, I don't want to." That's when the family start looking at you crazy, like, "Damn." Now, naturally, that's where Shard's gonna be coming in and talking to Ruby, like, "Girl, you need to kick him out. Like, you're making it hard for yourself because you're trying to keep that man, and now you're taking your own self down." That happens. Like I'm now we're hitting at it from the perspective of some people are trying to keep other people in a situation that they really can't afford, and that's what happens in a lot of these set situations. That people will either take on a female, or they'll bring on extra people, even though they're on the charity slash they're on the charity slash please give me a chance account.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? My cousin and my uncle, they got out of the halfway house. They needed places to stay, but then they'll bring their girlfriend around or their buddies and all kind of such shit, and all the 12 disciples. And I would
Well,
be like, nigga, and I
I'm
would
gonna
be like,
interject
nigga,
right there.
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Now, with that being said, that's when you put your foot down. Like there was rules in the halfway house. You couldn't have company. You had set amount of time that you know, can be there and all that. Those rules supposed to transfer over into the person's house where they're staying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, yes, Sean. We know, but you know how again. You remember to take the charity card, the charity card. You know what I'm saying? Because some people they pick or target somebody like Ruby's grandpa. That
Hmm.
it's like I'll
Yeah.
play BMT. I will be the good guy for you for so long. You start seeing a light like I'm turning you. I'm dropping you off at church and taking the goddamn car. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not stopping at the church. You know what I'm saying, Ruby? I know this nigga ain't crap, and I know I had $90 in my purse, but somehow he has $90 and I don't have $90. But you know what? He's changing. I'm gonna take this $90, Ruby, and I'm gonna go out and find a job. 2 days, 3 days later, I still don't have a job. And see, it's okay. Next week, I will do the same hustle, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna change, Char. I'm gonna smile in your face when you coming from work. I'm gonna put on a part tart for you, and I'm gonna say, well, I'm changing. I'm one step at a time. Just give me 3 years. I'm gonna change. I promise you. Just be patient with me. I made you a part tart. You know what I'm saying? I made sure that the kids woke up and got them on the school bus. Damn. Just let me, just give me some money, baby, and I'm gonna change. It happens all the time.
You don't even need to do all that with my grandfather. You just have to be a very beautiful, well, actually, not even that beautiful, honestly, like reasonably average face, decent body chick
There
under
you
the
go.
age of 25. Because he's gotten screwed by these sob stories from these young women, not once, but twice in the last 10 years. Yeah.
But
Yep.
it happens. But it happens, and those be the hardest. I would want. We like documenting them as parasitic relationships, whereas to you need to put your you need to put them out, or I'm gonna have to put you out. I can't do that. I can't do that. Like he's my that's my baby father. That's my baby. That's my girl. Like, come on, man. And I've had that with roommates where your girl was supposed to just stay the night. Nigga, it's been 4 months. This girl has her bra on the couch. I'm seeing her. She's washing her drawers off in the goddamn sink. Man, dog, you know what I'm saying? Her mama be tripping, so she comes over here, and I'm like, come on, man. So now we got her, and now there's a baby strolling the goddamn house. I've been through it all. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're like, well, damn, we had a good thing with it, just us two. And I agree. When I come home from work, I don't want to hear no shit. I don't want to see no extra struggling person. I don't want people going to my cinnamon toast crunch when I get home. But you know, it happens. That's why it's hard. That's why I think that's one of the big issues that people talk that don't want to talk about when they get any said relationships. Like some people aren't used to. I don't know what you call it when they're afraid to be at home alone. So they just said they'll suck it up and be miserable with that guest that's not going to do anything to help them. They know it's a horrible guest, but they'll rather have that misery than be at home alone, just be at the house. So they'll just say, I'll take anybody to stay with me if I know it's B&T, the ain't shit Negro, that literally is going to keep stealing $120 out of my purse every damn night. I love you, T. I
Yeah.
love you, Felicia. I love you, baby.
Well, I
Mhm.
guess that's individual, because everyone is different. But
You would kick
um,
me out, Shar, if I was doing that?
yes, you have to go. Um,
So you ain't
I
gonna let me? You ain't
mentioned
gonna give me time to get my life on track?
no. I'll
Why?
see you in 3 years. You can come back and visit me.
I'm supposed to be
Um,
my black queen.
oh, I'll be the queen when you get back. Now, what Ruby mentioned about the prenups. Now, that's a little bit different than, but it's still the contract. I understand what you're saying, but back to the feelings, and you even mentioned it yourself. You feel some type of way about it,
Mhm.
um, and but it is for protection because in different states there's different laws. And let's say you just boyfriend and girlfriend, you decide to live together because it's cheaper. But when you leave, there's a particular, let's say there's whatever state you're in, there's a law saying, well, because you all was in this particular lease um, in this state, the person who made the most money have to pay the lease out.
Mm.
And that could be you. Is that fair to you? No, but if you had something in writing, this is what we're going to do. If it doesn't work out, then we, split things down the middle like we were supposed to do anyway, and go our separate ways.
Mhm.
Now I know for let me see what's California. I hear a lot of stuff about with California. There was it a couple? It's been a while. I don't remember all of the story, but I do know that that person had to pay, um, give them some money every month when they broke up, just because of the state they lived in. They didn't have anything in writing, and I'm like, man, that's jacked up. That was a relationship. They ended it, and they got to do that. Now I know that's a little bit different than the actual person staying with you somewhat,
Mhm.
but there, like I mentioned before, there are some states that say, hey, this is a tenant after 30 days.
Mhm.
And they can keep renewing that. They can keep saying, well, I need another 30 days. Well, uh, Your Honor, I need another 30 days. And that can go into 6 months, 9 months. How long you want them to, keep getting these 30 days. It can't happen. So it's only to protect you. So I don't really look at it as, well, you don't trust me or anything like this. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna look at it that way. I'm gonna look at it. It protects both of us, and I'm gonna remove the feeling part out of there, um, because it just not that important. It's more important that we both protect it. You can be married to someone and you have to give them part of your pension. Depends on what state you're in. But if you
Right.
put certain things in prenup or contract, however you want to, say it, you're protected from that. Because hey, it might 10 years and 1 month they might have just been staying with you um, just to get to that 10th year for the payout.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing though too, right? Is people do that, and so there are ways around a prenup, quote unquote, even waiting it out. And then you're all surprised. You thought, hey, well, we lasted 10 years. It's the big one, 10 years, one day, haha. But I think part of my reaction comes from the fact that I'm in Canada, right? And in Canada, like Americans sue for everything. Americans will 97% of the ridiculous, frivolous lawsuits that we know of, like the caution contents hot in a cup and stuff like that, right? Like just Americans will sue for anything, right? They are down for their payday. That's what it is, right? And we know that about America. So it's a
Yeah,
different,
we rough.
yeah, right. So it's a different culture, right? Canada's not like that. Like Canadians are hard pressed to go to court. We don't go to court for like anything, right? There's a lot we would rather just bypass the legal system ever in general, right? Like you got those real contentious divorces or child support cases on occasion. But for the most part, like Canadians don't just sue everyone for everything. Canadians are always like, oh, and well, now you hurt my heart. That's it. I'm gonna ruin you, right? Like it's a different, I think, attitude and atmosphere overall. So maybe that's why I have that personal reaction to it because in my experience, I mean, I know lots of people who divorced, and it was just kind of like, all right, we over now, so peace out, and people just kind of do what they're supposed to do, or what you would think would be kind of. I know this is gonna sound terrible because I'm Canadian, which just makes it sound so weak, but kind of like the polite, nice thing to do in the scenario, right? Like, hey,
Hmm.
you're the one who takes care of the kids full time. And because you've been doing that and you've been out of work for 7 years, having my kids back to back to back, I'll let you keep the house because I still got to work all day, every day. And I will help you get on your feet until you can find another source of income. And all right, okay, cool. Or like, oh, child custody. Well, it's we're technically have shared custody. You keep the kids all time, and we work out the nights I'm going to be able to pick them up this week, or the weekends I'll be able to pick them up with my work schedule. Like, it's from a more like, let's just deal with this because we're adults and we should be able to deal with this outside of court, like maximum through that whole mediation concept, right? I know of way more adults, even when they were really mad at each other, who've gone through mediation and even dealt with custody via mediation over going to court. So I kind of understand it from the American perspective, right? Where, again, Americans want to sue for everything. If they can make a quick buck suing some store for moving the caution floor wet sign and then slipping on it, you know what I mean? And no, and they don't see any cameras around, so they're not going to get caught doing it. They might do it, right? So I mean, like it's like a different country. So I get that. And it's just like, what would like I said, I wouldn't be mad at somebody. I think that if you're very wealthy and you're very wealthy before you meet me, and so you want to protect your assets, and that's something you let me know on, day 1 or 2 of us dating, like, just so you know, this is how I roll. All right, cool. You come from a wealthy type of family and your family wants you to do it. Or, you know what I mean? There are certain circumstances where I get it. And there are other
Yeah.
circumstances where I don't. So if we're just both living about average lives, we're both average people, you know what I mean? Now we're supposed to enter into this thing that we are saying is going to be forever, and we are going to outline how it is that we divide up everything should it ever end, which of course I'm not planning on it to ever end, but still it's like, how do you even know how these assets are going to exist later, that you guys, not just that you build later, but what's the definition of together? So, the fact
Hmm.
that, again, she stayed home for 7 years straight raising kids. You guys never had to pay for any type of childcare, any type of this, any type of that, because she was willing to put her own career on hold for 7 years to accomplish that. And, or she moved around the country with you for, 15 years for your job. So therefore she couldn't hold her own job, or blah, 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 blah. Like, how do you account for all these different things that could happen? And that's how I feel about it. I'm like, if you guys both just start at average, what do you put in the prenup? Well, I'm going to keep my millions, you keep yours. You guys both walked in with barely a savings account. So, like, what are you putting in your prenup, really? I guess that's what I wonder.
Yeah, that I'm sure there are attorneys that can work that out with you. But yeah, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And I do know there are certain circumstances. Are you a millionaire and bumps into me and you like, okay, I love the advice you give. Let's do it, girl. Like, okay, here, sign here. You don't get my millions if you leave me. Okay, well, okay, sign. There you go. You
Hmm.
feed me. You do what you need to do. It is what it is. I can't demand you give me a monthly salary and all that kind of stuff. I do know it can get tricky. It depends on if you don't have any skills and the state and all that kind of stuff. But um, yeah, we may end up speaking about that sometime.
Yeah, but I will say, and I'm not even kidding. In my experience, people who are most likely to screw you are your family. I'm being serious. I would never do business with family. I would never loan money to family. Like, to me, family are the people you can't
What?
trust.
Your own blood?
Yeah, right.
No.
If I would put anyone on a contract, it's going to be someone I am blood related to, and that's just being 100. That's
No.
yeah. I would trust a relative stranger off of the street more than at least 3/4 of my family. Yeah, that's right. I said it
Wow.
and I meant it.
Okay, well, you heard that, ladies and gent. Welcome to the panel, Shadra.
Hey,
Good
Chandra.
evening. I did not necessarily have an issue where I had much difficulty getting the person out. I was able to communicate directly with them, get a time frame set up, but I can explain some of the issues that you have that would make you want to get somebody out. Because
Ooh.
I had a buddy of mine that so he's an African native. He was working up here during the oil boom. He left, he came back up. He needed a place to get back on his feet, get rolling again after the oil boom fell off. I had a spare room, so I'm like, yeah, yeah, you could stay here for a couple months, get on your feet. And there were some issues there. First of all, I'm the kind of person who I like my peace to myself, and he was the kind of guy who, after I'd get off of work, he'd be sitting there waiting to have like a 3 hour long conversation with me. And there's only so many 3 hour long conversations I could have. That was, before I started getting annoyed with that, because you're sitting there waiting for me to come home like a woman. I'm like, nope, 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 this isn't working. He also managed to. I don't know how much experience you guys have with native African food.
Not a lot, no.
Well, some of the things they cook smell. And when I say smell, I'm talking, they can smell up the entire house for a week. Not exactly a week. If you got some good incense sticks, it might take you 2 days to get the smell out. But oh yeah.
Okay.
And I've lived in my apartment for several years. I have never had grease splatters on my oil splatters from frying stuff on my cabinets till this guy moved in.
Oh. And he didn't
You
wipe
know,
them down at all? No effort made?
no effort made. He cooked and he thought that he was cleaning, but then you go and you like, well, there's grease running down this wall, so I don't know where you cleaned.
You know what people don't realize? No, and because I was thinking about it actually as I was cleaning up something, and I'm like, you know what it is? It's that some of the oil actually gets basically like aerosolized, right?
Yes.
And so it's like it can go everywhere in the, it's not going to be just, oh well, look, I wiped up the counter. Like it could be anywhere inside of wherever this smoke can travel before it
Well,
condenses back into oil. Right.
you see, what happens, right, is there's this amazing thing, there's this amazing invention called a vent hood, right? You turn on the fan on the vacuum fan on the vent hood, it sucks that smoke up, but
Oh,
it doesn't make a difference if the person's quite literally sitting there with a pan that's splattering oil everywhere and moving it right under the cabinet.
uh, mm. Oh no.
And we had to have a talk. I'm like, look, this is the first time in my life I've seen oil on these cabinets, and I've cooked things before. So what are we doing here? And it got to the point where I had to have a, I'm like, dude, okay, it's been 4 months. This was to get you on your feet. I know you're making $24 an hour at this job at least. Well, yeah, I got to send the money back to the family in Africa. I'm like, yeah, you got another 3 months.
Oh.
Because you can send all that money back to Africa, because I haven't charged the dude rent, because my thing is, he's like, yeah, need to get on my feet. I'm gonna do this dude a favor, right? He needs a place to crash, a place to take a shower. I get that, but
For
not
three
once did he
months?
really pitch in for food. And that's the part that gets you. Things start. You're going, okay, my food's going down. My food's going down. I bought a box of cereal. I come back the following day. There isn't a box of cereal. There's half a bowl left. I mean,
Wow. Wow,
That's
taking extra liberties, not just eating your food, but like overeating your food.
hey, when you buy a thing, a bottle of juice, and there's very, very little left. Yeah,
Oh.
wow.
you're like,
Big
hey,
appetite.
hey, I'm not charging your rent, but I mean, come on. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, one of these days I'll come up and cook, and we he did eventually cook, and the food was all right, but once again, smell. Well, smell was standing.
Wow.
Wow. What an experience.
And my number one rule is don't touch my stuff, right? If my stuff is somewhere, leave it, right?
Hmm.
I come home and he's like, hey, I went ahead and cleaned the kitchen and rearranged everything you had there.
Oh no.
I thought we
Yeah,
went
do
over,
something
you
I
don't
want
touch
you
my.
to do.
No, 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 no. I thought we went over, you not touching my stuff. If my stuff is in the way, you let me know so I can move it, so I can know where it got moved to.
Wow.
So these are issues that led to me going, hey, 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 you got to go. And thankfully, he was reasonable and was willing to go in that. I gave him, a 3 month time frame.
Oh, that was generous. Very generous.
That's
You know,
too that's too much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, wasn't that generous? Very generous.
That was
I, I,
ridiculous.
I,
That's
I,
like above and beyond Ruby level. Like why?
I try to be reasonable, right? But at the same time, the saying, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and for a little while, I used to refer to it as like I had a cockroach problem, because I couldn't even walk up in my own place without somebody bothering me.
No. And 3 more months. Like that's the part that hurts my soul. When you didn't, okay, I understand you didn't kick the man out on the street immediately. I would have given him maximum, and I mean really, really maximum 30 days. Maximum. And if all he could save up for at that point was a room in someone else's house, and okay, you want 3 months? Okay, you start paying rent. You start paying for 50% of all the bills. You start paying for 50% of all the food. Everything would have changed very drastically from day, 91. Because are you kidding me? You didn't even try in 90 days. You ignorant. Like you beyond took advantage of my niceness, and I can't stand that. Oh my god, that is horrible. That is
But but
horrible.
but, but see, my thing is, okay, I told the dude I had the extra room, come out here. I know you out here to make money. We all here to make money. I was trying to be a good brother, and yeah,
Hmm.
And you were. You
yeah.
just suffered.
Well, he was treating you like family. This is how
No
family
good
treats
deed
each
goes
other.
unpunished.
Right? Like, no. This is exactly what a family member does to another family member. I don't owe you nothing, and my promises are fluid. Right? It's when I said 3 months, I meant until I feel like leaving. That's what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
meant
yeah.
by
See,
three
see,
months.
if that had happened, there would have been several more problems that he would have had to deal with. But thankfully, it didn't come to that. Thankfully, I didn't have to freeze and/or starve him out of the house because
Mm.
Africans don't do so well in the cold, and it gets real cold in North Dakota when there's no heat.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, he would have come home to all of his stuff neatly packed in boxes on the porch with every lock in the house changed. Where am I going to go tonight? Not my problem. No, that's it. Mm-mm. Oh.
No, no, no. See,
No,
I,
if
I
I
like
gave
being
him the extra
reasonable.
3 months. No, if I gave him the extra 3 months, which I never, ever, ever would have done, to be clear. But if I had given him the extra 3 months and at the end of that 3 months he wasn't gone, that's exactly what would have happened. He would have come home, like all his nicely packed. I would make sure they didn't get wet or nothing. But you're not coming back in here. I already told you 3 more months. And I was being very overly generous with that 3 months. How am I going to feed my kids in Africa? Again, not my
You have to go
problem.
go to them. But
Right. Not
but
my
because he
kids.
had money, I would not have 3 months. I wouldn't have given that much time. It's just something that didn't work out. Now you're gonna have to spend a little bit of your money and have a for a roof over your head. But I did try for a little while, and I would have gave it whatever time I could stand it.
Right.
That's
My,
fair.
my thing is, I didn't exactly hate the guy.
Hmm.
It's just those little things, like
See,
you
Shar?
walk into the apartment building and you already smells like he cooked again.
See, but Shar, it's just like you said. This is the problem when you like the person. See, if they can't be family, you can't like them. Right? Like there's all these you can't have pity for them. There's all these conditions for the perfect person you're gonna help out in a jam. Like for real.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was being generous and kind, and I know I went a little bit overboard, but at the same time, I figured 3 months is reasonable. He's able to get a place of his own. He's able to not jump into another lease
Hmm.
situation where he just had to get into the place, and then he's stuck there for 13 months, and he's like, I hate it here. But I was also making those, hey, yeah, we got about 2 months left, right? You know that, right?
So he didn't lose track of time over 90 days. No, see, this is what I'm saying, right? This is where he 150% for sure took advantage of this situation. Because if he didn't have a job, that's one thing. And, or he wasn't making that much money. But you know how much money he was making. You know he made more than enough. You know what he was trying to do is save up a bunch plus send home whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no, you don't get to have that kind of freedom. Like, you got a job that pays very, very well. That is more than a lot of people get. They get their 30 days notice. You know what I mean? Like 30 days notice because I need the room, because I'm moving, because I'm selling, whatever it is. He was in a really good position, and I feel like, you know, uh, like he took advantage of that. He should have at least offered over the next few months to pay something. Let me pay something,
See, here's the problem though. Him offering to pay something would mean that I would actually have to officially put him on the lease at that point. At which point, my ability to evict him would become a long legal battle if he wanted to fight it.
Oh no, when I meant pay, I meant like the way West Indian people pay these
Oh,
things. These are just hand me some money, right? Like if you want to eat food in this house, you'll hand me $50 a week, like that. Just
yeah.
just pay for something. Like show me your appreciation in a financial way. That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
You pay a
What?
little something.
But I think the takeaway from all this is the fact that for the most part, we're willing to work with people if they're willing to give back and, for the most part, not obnoxious pricks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Mhm.
But the moment someone becomes obnoxious, ungrateful, unnecessarily, difficult,
Mhm.
Hmm.
that's when you want to get rid of them, and you really want to get rid of them real fast. At which point,
Yep.
yeah, I like Char's idea of the, bag over the head and the van, but that's
Oh
not
Oh
yeah.
my
legal.
gosh. I thought of another situation we could analyze here because see, we haven't really talked about this situation. So, my mother being forever the sucker. Like I swear to God, my mother has the most ridiculous bleeding heart. Like it can't stand it sometimes. So, I was younger. I was like a early teens. And she had this work friend, right? His
Hmm.
work friend had two small children, and I guess she broke up with her husband or whatever. I don't know. Point is that she was suddenly out of a place to live, and she didn't really have any family here because her family's all in the West Indies somewhere. And so my mom offered her 6 months, 6 months to live for free in our house, to live entirely for free. Just live here, cry, get yourself back on your feet. Remember, they work at the same company. It means they make approximately the same amount of money. Okay. 6 months goes by. You know how it is between work and taking care of the kids. I haven't been able to look at anywhere, I'm so sorry. Sob story, sob story, sob story. There's my mother, just like you, 6 more months. Okay, and don't worry, I'll watch the kids anytime. You just let me know, da da da. Us single moms have to stick together. My mom, for the record, never did this one, so I don't know what she's talking about. Anyway, so all right, cool. That woman stayed in our house for like 4 years. 4 years inside that room, paying like nothing. I think by eventually she started paying like something like $400 a month for her and her three kids to use the lights, which were and electricity on
Wow.
constantly, the water that I mean you gotta bathe two kids and yourself, right? Our food. She said she bought her own food, but honestly, it was just mostly whatever her kids wanted that we didn't already have, right? But like she would still, use our stuff all the time. Our basics, our rice and this and that, whatever, right? Like for like about I think it was 4 or 5 years she stayed in that house. Four or
You
five
grew
years.
up with this woman.
Yes. And it's not like, she was such a wonderful addition. We were all like a lovely family. Her and her kids stayed inside their room using the extra electricity. It's not like we could all just watch, TV in the living room. At least we're only using one TV. No, 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 no. No. She didn't make this a family. She didn't make this she's a joy to be around. No, 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 nope. But that's a problem. Some of these people know that woman saw suckers born every minute, and my mom's one of them. That was it. Take advantage of your kindness for weakness, and of course, it was weakness. Yeah, but the empathy and the single mom angle and the young kids. Oh, please, Ruby, what am I supposed to do? Put her on the street with two young kids? Yes. Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. Put her on the street with two young kids because she's not your kid. They're not your kids. None of this is your problem, and she's had more than enough time. Well, she's saving up to buy a house. Wait, 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 wait.
What?
She went from saving to get an apartment somewhere to saving to buy a house?
Just make it
So,
a.
so, so she bought a house on your mom's generosity, is what you're telling me.
She did. Yep. Yep.
See, now I don't feel that. Now I don't feel that foolish for that 3 months.
That's just because the guy left. That's the problem. It's because the guy left of his own volition. This woman didn't leave, and then she upped her ante. So not only is she looking for a place to live, she's looking for the dream. I never want to pay rent again. Like, oh come on, I have two young kids. I just want to be like you. You have a house, and your daughter. Wait, wait, no, no, no. My mother bought a house, and we moved in when I was 12, 13. Before that, my mom had to pay rent like everybody else. She got herself into credit card issues, blah, blah, blah. Still had to pay rent like everybody else. And then pay off all that debt, right? Save up to buy a house, all while feeding a kid, da, 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 like everybody else. And then, she met her fiance and so on and so forth, but he didn't put the money down on the house. My mom did. right? He didn't put the credit down on the house either. My mom did. So really, nothing she's saying, and my mom wasn't with the fiance by this time, by the way. So nothing she was saying was even remotely applicable. Oh, I know how hard it is. You know, it's hard, but it can be done, is what you're saying? Because you did it? Oh, okay. I just say you giving them a little bit of a break, right? You want to be like, I'll make the next person's life a little bit easier. But come on, five 5 years with this woman in that room, and I have to share a bathroom with her and her 17 kids. Okay, it was only two, but it felt like 17 because they're small, right? And their stuff just dominates spaces, like
Uh,
and they're
I,
open packages of hot dogs everywhere, like just.
I gotta ask this question. Did your mother ever have to talk with her? Honey, I think it's time you need to find you a man.
Well, yeah, but like in the, eventually, I think the last like 3 years or so, my mom was just so angry that, they weren't friends anymore. Not that she would kick her out. So, she would ask and then get so super, like we would be in the car, my mom would be hitting the steering wheel, taking advantage of me, da, da, da. But did she go and kick her out or try to kick her out? My mom didn't make any effort to kick her out because she just she assumed the woman would do the decent thing at some point. Man, I got you a long way towards it, now get out of my house. You know what I mean? This was supposed to be a year. You were going to be able to, for sure, okay, but in 2 years for sure you'll have enough for a down payment on a house, right? And like so on and so forth. It just kept getting longer and longer. So I'm like, okay, this is the thing. So all of the things we've talked about, right, did not include small children, single parents with small children. So what do we do in scenarios like that? For this is a house guest that you let in for God knows what reason with their kids. They've now overstayed their welcome with their young children. We can't really kidnap you at this point, right? I'm not that heartless to put small children out on the streets in the cold of winter, right? Like, I mean, there's certain things, yeah, even my pettiness, I just can't allow that to happen, even if I know you are screwing with me. Everything that we've discussed, I feel like we discussed about a single person, you know? Um,
Right, because that actually was that's what the letter was, a single person. But
exactly.
with your question, well, I would probably set it up where find out when those children are going to go stay with someone.
Mm,
Um, I may even volunteer to keep them. I'll come up with something, and then
mm.
kidnap the parent and hide them.
You see, Shar, you sitting there with them capital crimes of kidnapping and stuff. I can't get with
That's
that legally.
what?
Allegedly,
Sure, and then kidnap them.
allegedly.
Not like some other plan, and then kidnap them. Of course, we follow through with plan A.
But see, I have a personal belief that if this person has these children and I've allowed them into my house, then it means I have taken into account that their children are now my responsibility as the man of the house.
Hmm.
But I'm also making sure that if I want this person gone, I have them signed up for whatever Section 8 housing is available. They can get there with their children. Oh, you have children and your income's under a certain amount. Oh, yeah, yeah. Just sign this paperwork. We'll get you that Section 8 house. You don't have to be in my house anymore. Let's just
Mm,
go over there and have a talk to these people.
hmm. Okay. See,
You
like,
know, I'd set them up with a place. It just wouldn't be with me. And I would ensure that they signed the paperwork and showed up for the open houses and everything.
ah, see, that's a fair point because I have a friend. She never lived with me, um, but I'm one of those people, and it's a problem. I'm working on it, but I am one of those people where if I love you, if I care about you as a friend, you know what I mean. I will damn near be your hands and your eyes in your life. I will literally step into your clothing and help you be you. I am the worst, I know. And so I have helped a lot of people accomplish a lot of things in their life. And when I say I helped them, like when my friend decided she wanted to go to college, that she was not enjoying any possible part of it at all. I think I probably spent about 10 hours a day with her at minimum. And a lot of that was just schoolwork, 7 days a week at minimum. Like I just spent all my time with her because, I told her I'd help her. And so as much help as she needs for her to be successful at this, I'm going to give her for 2 years. I did it for real. So I over invest with people, especially if I care about you, especially if you have kids, because I think about when I'm giving that investment to you, I'm not just giving it to you, I'm giving it to your kids as well. And I think about that before I make my agreement about helping you or not. So, in that case though, I don't think I would let I have two friends that I've ever known in my life who have kids, and I would let them live with me, because I don't care how long they stay. They could live with me, honestly, forever, or until my husband gets honestly really frustrated. But he would have to know going in, like, this could be for like 5 6 years. I will be okay with that because I love them. I love their kids, and even when I hate them, I can tell them they'll hate me too. We're good. That's the kind of relationship we have. We're like sisters. And I'm okay. Sisters that you really like and would want to live with, like Gilmore Girls kind of style. Um, but the rest of the people, like, if I care about you, and especially if you have kids, I would find you somewhere to stay from the get go. Like, you would never be inside of my house because I know me and everyone else knows me. So they know that even though I've worked on myself so much and I'm so much better at this, there is no way I could screw those kids. There's no way I could. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be spiteful. I couldn't be serious. I couldn't, look at the bottom line. I would sacrifice everything for your kids to be okay, and people know that, and they could take advantage of it. I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying you could. So I would make sure if they were in those dire straits, I would find them somewhere else to be. And I would petition for them. I would campaign for them. I would dedicate my blood, sweat, and tears for as long as it took to find them a friend's house or a family member's house for them to go be in, right? Because that family member doesn't have the same attachment I do. So I would get the family member to agree to the 30 days or however long they said they needed, right? Because the family member is going to feel no ways about kicking them out at the end of 30 days, A, but also they aren't going to feel the same laxness. You know what I mean? Towards this, they're my friend. This isn't me. This is my friend. And you don't know this person like that. So they have no reason to be nice to you, kind to you, help you, or feel any type of sympathy or compassion for you, you know? So I'd probably go that route.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, welcome to the panel, Miss Regina. How are you?
Um,
Regina!
Hey,
Yay!
good evening, Miss
Good evening.
Char and Miss Ruby. Good evening. And
Good
and who
evening.
are and
This is
and who?
Shadra Cursor.
Okay, well, good
Yes.
evening to you as well.
Good evening, Miss Regina.
Good evening. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. Miss you guys so much. Just miss you, miss you,
Mm,
miss you.
I miss you
It's just
too, girl. So happy whenever you can get a chance to come by.
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I think Char knew this topic resonated with me. Look,
Yeah, whatever
and
you feel comfortable in sharing, we're here.
oh boy, oh boy. Um, so far from what I've heard, and this is what because I like to listen in first, from what
Yes.
I've heard, the the good thing about helping, I don't, and it doesn't even matter if it's family, friends, is giving a deadline and setting a date and or a time period, and sticking to that. Um, that I think that's more important than anything. Um, I in the past I had never really given when I would help friends out. I never really given a time period. I never did that. I was like, whenever you get yourself together, and I think they pretty much knew that I don't have much time with Regina because it ain't gonna be long before she like, okay, so what you gonna do? So
Birds of a feather over here.
I never had that problem with saying that to people. Never had that problem. So and never had to do that until Family is much different than friends and what we call chosen family. I've had chosen family to stay with me, and even with a child. Ruby, you mentioned about having, even when with one child, it seems like it's about five kids in the house. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
It can be one, it can be two, and it feel like it's eight. It just it's like
Mhm.
um it's more than anticipated. And at that time, I had young children, but I think the most I would say the most challenging situation that I had was with family. And she said the initial test was, okay, give me a year. That's what she said. Give me a year. Let me get myself together. Let me get down there, get a job. My boyfriend's going to be moving down eventually as well. He's going to be looking for us an apartment. I'm like, okay. And and I can go ahead and say it was my biological sister that I had just connected with. So I had never met her before. I didn't know. I had heard about her mannerisms. I'd heard about who she was as a person. But I was like, no, I'm Miss Regina. People act differently around me. I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit different. However, she came. I said that, and I'm the type of person you can't tell me about another person. You can't let them show if they're going to show their butt. Let them show it to me. Because you can't tell me. I think that I have qualities that bring out the best in everybody. So I'm not finna
Mhm.
listen to what you say. However, that individual came, showed their butt, and so when it came time for that year, um, I asked, I said, so we were 2 months away from the year. I said, so it's about, we're coming close to a year. So what are your plans? And oh, did I intrude on the young man? Did he was able to? I didn't want to leave. I wanted to get his opinion on me and actually coming in, but okay. But anyway, okay.
And he
So
might be able to come back because he's working, but go ahead.
okay, so she said, this is her exact words. Oh, I'm gonna find me a good man. Now, mind you, her and another guy broken up that was supposed to come, and I'm gonna find me a good man to take care of me. I said, okay, but I'm not talking about your relationship situation. I'm really talking about your living situation. What are you gonna do? Oh, I don't know. And I said, okay. And and so then we 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 didn't say anything after that. She came home the next day. I'm moving out in a week. I said, okay. And she took that and left with it. And she shared with the family that I put her out. Didn't ask for like, cause I'm, I consider myself a decent individual. If she would have said, Regina, just give me a few more months or whatever, like you said, your mom's friend did. I just need another 6 months or something like that. It wouldn't have gone further than that though. But because I was not feeling her energy in my household, it was something different. I don't like negative energy. She had that, but I just really wish. I'm thankful that she did go ahead and move out because it was for the best. But I will not. I tell my children, and then come to find out, she shared with my sister that she thought she at least had another 5 years with me. That's what she shared with her. She thought that she had another 5 years, and that's why I was cracking up. I was putting the laugh emojis in there about the 5 years. It was like she really did think that she had another 5 years. Yeah, yep,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
blatant. 5.
yeah. Yes, yes. I didn't know you from as the old folks say, the man on the moon. I didn't know you, and you think you can live with me? No, that's not how this works. And to be honest, now she was contributing. I was asking her for half of the rent. No, 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 no. I didn't ask her for anything on the rent. Lights, water, gas, cable, because I had to put another box upstairs so she could participate in the actually watch all the different all the cable shows. She liked all those What's
Mhm.
Love and Who's in the Hip Hop and in Atlanta and in Georgia, wherever. She loved all those shows. So I put another box. So I asked her for half of the cable. But other than that, she didn't contribute to groceries. She didn't contribute to the rent. And I didn't ask because I wanted her to get herself together. I wanted her to be able to save and move on. And that's the same
Mhm.
thing that I do to my children. Same thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Same thing. Yeah. I want you to be able to move on. That's the whole purpose of this.
Right. Like you're
Mm.
hoping that their intentions match what they said their intentions are and that they take the opportunity, to heart seriously and actually, want to follow through. I'm going to use this opportunity. Thank you so much. And I'm going to build and take this time for real. And by the time I walk out, I'm going to be solid. That's what you hope.
Exactly. Exactly. I want to see you grow. I don't want to see you sitting around on me, especially not contributing to groceries as much as you eat. That's not what this is. Now, you're not my child. I'm not going to take care of you in that way, in that manner, you know. Because
Hmm.
even my children know that you have to contribute to a household in some form,
Yeah.
especially if you're sitting there. Yeah. Yeah. And her idea of having a man, and that's what I think she was so dependent. That's why I was going to ask the other. She was waiting for that man to come down, and he was going to set up an apartment for her, and all that. Just that expectation for a man to do something for you. You know,
Hmm.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Do you know
It
where she
was.
went after your place?
So what I heard is that she went to a cousin's house next, and then went back to Chicago, and then back to Texas. And from what I understand, she may be back in Chicago. That's from just hearing that, and from different family members. Yeah,
Wow. That's
I don't
that's
think
a lot
there's
of
any
moving.
stability. Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't think there's any stability as of yet. Yeah.
Wow.
Has it been 5 years?
I don't think it's been five yet. I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
And
Mm,
any word about this man?
nothing.
Oh,
Absolutely
okay.
nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
So
wow.
Yeah.
basically, at least you have like solace that you
Mm.
did the right thing because there's nothing you would have done that would have helped in her growth and development in any way. This
Yeah.
would have she would have stayed as long as you let her, and then
Yeah, probably.
right, like
Yeah, yeah. To a degree. Because even my kids were looking at me like the ones that weren't living here. Because at that time, really none of my kids were actually living here. Either they were away at college or they were, so they were here sporadically, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break. It wasn't like my
Yeah.
kids were even here. So, and they
mm,
know how mommy is. They were taught at a young age. Okay, so here's the thing: you have until you graduate college. And then once you graduate college, then if you need a place to stay, you can come here. You can stay for about a year. If we need to extend it a little bit, but you need to save up your money, you need to get your own place. They knew that when they were little.
right.
Mhm.
So, yeah, yeah,
Because you raised them right, and I guess that's the big problem, though. Not everyone's raised with that mentality, apparently.
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure that they knew it's just not where this is not where you're gonna be. I cannot allow, and I even had to tell my middle daughter, I cannot allow you to sit on my couch, sweetie, and you had to come home, and I understand that college ain't for everybody. Okay, you can come home, but you're gonna do something. You're gonna work. You're just not gonna sit here all day while I'm getting up going to work and you sitting on my couch using up the air, you're using up the water, you're you're eating, and you're playing the game so that you're on electricity. and you're doing nothing, no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work for me. It's
Yeah.
not. It can't
See?
work.
Mm-mm. No, no,
Yeah.
no. But I guess that's the thing though too. Like you kind of remind. Are you a Pisces? Are you Pisces?
No, I'm a Leo. I'm a July Leo.
Oh,
And
okay.
I love people. I want to support you. I'm going to help you as much as I can. I'm going to do what I can and we'll go above and beyond. Really will. I really
Mm,
will. But I couldn't. And because I had done more for people that was not my biological family, and they've moved on, done with it, and had a friend to tell me, Regina, if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have had a place to stay when I first came to Dallas. And I had forgotten all about it. I didn't even remember the situation. And she was like, "Yeah, you gave me a place to stay. And if it hadn't been for you," and that warms my heart. That's what I saw my mother do.
right.
So that's what I felt that I needed to do. You
Is your
know,
mom a
you
Pisces? Like you just
you know what? Yes, Ethel was a Pisces.
see?
Oh my God.
Okay. Look at this. Look at
Yes,
this. Because my mom is a
yes,
Pisces. I'm a Leo,
yes,
right? And I'm like, you see, this is where I get it from though, right? Because this is where I
yes.
saw it. That as
That's
much as
what
I
I
was
did.
mad, right?
Oh my God.
That's
Ethel was
crazy.
yes, February 27th. Yes. Yes.
My mom is March 5th or 2nd, depending on who you ask. Yeah, but
Okay. Okay. Yep. And Ethel is February 23rd or 27th, depending on who you ask. So yeah, I get it. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But see, now you
Yeah.
get it. See, it's like where do you get certain traits from? And it's like some things
Yeah.
really are learned, and so if you combine some Pisces traits with some Leo dispositions, you get
Mhm.
the bleeding heart a little bit more. I think that's where it
Yeah.
comes from. Yeah.
Yes. 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 That is amazing. Never thought of.
Hmm.
Yeah, Mama was a Pisces. Yep.
That's
And and
crazy.
so And so, look, Ori is asking what she was looking for a sugar daddy. I don't know what she was looking for. Um, you know, it's you never know where someone is in their life, but it was hard because at that time she was 48 and I was 50. So if you're looking for a sugar daddy, you better be bringing a whole lot of candy to the shop. You better, yeah, you better you better be drinking a whole lot of candy. And I don't think she had the candy. I just don't I just don't think so.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't think so. Because evidently she never got that waiting on that good man to do this and what he was gonna do and how he was gonna do it. As of now, I don't think she has it.
No.
Yeah.
No, well, and
Yeah.
some women see part of the issue is as weird as it sounds, right? Unless you are super hot, you
Right.
can't go into that scenario looking to A, be lazy while B, someone else takes care of you. Like you can't do it,
Yeah.
right? So because men can smell that off of you literally, but if you're super hot they might actually be okay with that because the trade-off of
Mhm.
sleeping with the super hot girl might
Yeah.
outweigh their repulsion at your
Yeah.
laziness and lack of contributing in any other significant way. It's fine. You don't cook, you
Exactly.
don't clean, you don't anything, but you're a super hot girl and you sleep with them 3 times a week minimum, right? That's great. But like if you're all right, you can't go in with that attitude because they'll feel it off of you and they'll just be like, not you. Nope. Oh, maybe I could stay
Yeah.
over the weekend. Nope. Mm-mm. No, no,
Nope.
ma'am.
Nope. Yes. And it was hard. Okay. So it was hard for me to even, like I said, it was challenging enough to deal with her personality, who she was as a person. Even though the family had told me, I just had to see for myself. And sure enough, it was exactly what they said it was. And regardless of, that we never, yeah, as far as interaction, I never thought, okay, I knew that there were women out here who really thought that a man should take care of them, but she really thought. And when I tell you amen, it was even to the point where our brothers had to tell her, I'm not your man. Our brothers, our oldest brother and our youngest brother, had to tell her, I'm not your man. That is not my role to pay for you to go and stay or be somewhere or to live somewhere. That's not my role.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now that I
Yeah.
think about it from the story, her man was on his way, according to her.
Hmm.
Why he didn't come in the first place?
In the first
Mm.
place.
Mm.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's almost like, okay, both of y'all, because supposedly all of them, the company let go of everybody. They met at work and they let go of everybody. So she had to go and he had to go. So y'all both could have came at the same time. And I'm grown, I know what grown folks do. I'm like, okay, well, if as long as y'all pitch in, I don't have
Mm.
a problem. But that was not how it was presented. She said, I'm coming first, then he's coming. I said, oh, okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a year passed. A year passed. And so, the lesson learned from that was, because I think I learned the immature, the family had shared with me the level of immaturity that she has. So when you know that somebody has a level of immaturity, and trying to be rational with them, that's not that's not gonna work well. So if you say a year, even if you get it in writing, you do have to put, and I'm glad I did put my foot down about the year, when it came up to the 2 years, because my kids needed to see that you tell me give me a year, I'm gonna give you a year. Now, if you say, Mom,
Mhm.
I need about 2 more months, if you say I need about 2 more months, so I can put my deposit and my first month's rent down on my apartment, I got you.
Hmm.
But you can't go off and leave here and tell family that I thought I had 5 more years. No,
That's so
no,
blatant.
yeah, that
Yeah, you,
did it for me. That did
Yeah.
it. Or we talking about maple syrup daddy, molasses daddy. She was gonna Splendor daddy, Lord Jesus. She was gonna need a whole bunch of daddies. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But she wasn't bringing the whole candy shop. She couldn't bring a candy shop. I know she couldn't. No, yeah, and that's
No.
50 cent. I'll put that on 50 cents. She couldn't bring the whole candy shop.
shoot, she didn't even have a lollipop because if she didn't have a man in that them 10 months she was there, ain't nobody was sniffing up behind her. So
Yep.
forget
Yes,
about it.
yes, she could not, and it hurts. And then, ugh, yeah, to try and show back up and smile, she showed up at my doorstep on the
Mhm.
day we had my godson's. My godson got killed last year, in
Mm.
July. And it was his balloon release ceremony. And I pulled in my driveway and I saw this car, and she jumps out, "Hey, Regina!" Oh. And I didn't even know who she. I didn't recognize her. I've been crying, my eyes all puffy, swollen. I got 2, 3 balloons still left in my hand, and I get out of the car and she, "Hey, Regina!" Then she all this happy go, and I'm like, "Who is this?" And for her to show up. And I was like, "Oh my God, who is this?" "It's Ramona." I said, "Oh." And I just turned and walked into my doorway, opened the screen, walked in, closed the door, and just sat on my couch. Because I was like, "Lord, if I touch this girl right now, she's going to get all kinds of misplaced anger, hate, hurt,
Mhm.
tears. She was going to get all of that. She was about to get all of that. This was the
Mhm.
wrong time." I told my family, I text everyone, please tell her don't ever show up at my house again. Like ain't nothing happened. No.
It
Right.
didn't.
No.
Not to her.
Right?
Look, cause she about to get the business. She about to get all these hands. You hear me? She was about to get all these
No, because
hands.
some people, right, like chronic users, and that's how they get through life. They're manipulators and users. They always have the same people in rotation, right? Like even if you have cut them out, even if you beat the hell out of them, send them to the hospital, you're just like they put you on the okay, won't see them for 10 years list, right? Before I try again. But you're never like off the list completely, right? That's just the way
Yep.
they expect this.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to be angry
You
eventually, but
are,
you'll get over it
yep,
eventually, right?
you are absolutely right. You
Yeah.
are absolutely because of course she called the oldest brother here recently. He hadn't heard from her in a while, and then he tried to call her back, and she didn't answer. But she sent him a Cash App request. Yeah, she sent him. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. He said, "You are not gonna believe this, sis." I said, "Uh-huh, I believe it because y'all are used to do. She's used to doing that to y'all. Y'all do that to her because that day when she showed up, I was like, She bet not. I said because I'm not that person. Once I open my home to you, once I opened my life to you, because she did way more than what I shared with you all. She did way more. She reached out to my ex and tried to get him on her side. Oh, it was a bunch of mess. Oh, it was
What?
it was. Oh yeah, she did a whole lot. Anyway, so what I shared with my brothers, I said, y'all allow her back in every time. That's what she's used to. Please let her know that this is another generation of our family. This I'm on a whole other side, and I
Mm,
don't do that. When I allow you this opportunity, you don't take obviously took advantage, but no,
yep.
yeah, no, the
Yep.
wrong sister, wrong time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
you because I said that I'm like everyone knows me. I'm a bleeding heart and blah blah blah.
yeah,
But if I feel
yeah.
like you actually intentionally screwed me, oh yeah, I can get real petty real fast, and I can get real devious
Hmm.
real fast.
Hmm.
That's where my
Hmm.
animal brain, that evil animal
Yeah,
brain, evil
yeah.
female conniving animal brain. That's when it gets triggered for
Conniving.
me. Is that? Yep.
Look here. Y'all just don't know. I was on I-30 headed barefoot to go kick her butt out. So I was like, I'm on my way. When I heard that she reached out to my ex and talked about my children and on
Wow.
Facebook and doing all this stuff, I was like, oh no. I was gonna be in Chicago that next morning. It was gonna
Oh
be,
Lord.
yeah, oh yeah, it got ugly.
Girl, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone would have blamed you. I have a criminal
Yeah.
record. Here's why, right? I don't think it would be like, oh, come on.
I had my kids crying, "Mommy, no, don't leave. I'm gone." No, but and that's out of character for me. And so everybody knew like something must be wrong for Regina to respond this way. That's not my normal character. I'm loving, bleeding heart, like you said, bleeding heart. But if you turn that corner, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be on two wheels too, right with you. You don't do that. Yeah, I'm gonna
Gonna
be right
pull up
with
on you.
you.
Yep.
Pull up for real, and yeah, that's
I'm about
right.
that life today. All right, let's get it done. Where you at?
Today, yeah, we gonna handle this today. Okay. Yeah, yeah. But I do believe in, especially for if anyone, if you allow somebody to live, it's okay. I think, like I said, I saw that with my mom. Let people live, but when you set the boundaries, if you don't set any boundaries, like you said, people take advantage of it. Excuse me, and they're going to continue to take advantage of that, no matter what. Somebody to live on you and keep throwing it in your face. Well, we're single parents together and blah blah blah. When they keep throwing up the issue, the situation, and all of that, That's taking advantage of. No,
Yep.
you need to go. You need
Hmm.
to go. It's time for you to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or but you, how dare you? Like that's what it comes down to. How dare you? You know, you should be
Yeah.
showing so much, you should feel bad about yourself and you should be showing that. Like, man, I am so sorry. I know I'm letting you down here, that I haven't left already. And
Mhm.
no one should have to come seek you out. You should be seeking me out to be like, listen, I know that 90 days is coming up. I hate to have to do this, but this
But
this situation,
yeah.
and just own it. Be like, you know what? I thought I would do something in the last 6 months. I took the
Yeah.
breakup harder than I thought. I don't even. I'm not even. I'm still depressed. And I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
you know, just be
Honesty?
Yeah.
real.
That's
What? You
Yeah,
want
right.
honesty?
I
Oh,
know.
come on.
I know. I know. We're not supposed to do all that cussing on YouTube. What with this four-letter word, honesty? But it's like, Lord Jesus. You would swear, right? People never heard of it before, ever. It's just like,
Right?
honesty. The hell?
It's like really right. And that's all I said. And I told my brother and sister, I said, all she had to do was say, sis, give me 1 more month, 2 more months. She just packed up that little Chrysler 200 and whatever it was, and all her clothes, and she was gone. Laid the key on the counter. I'm moving. Okay, well, bye. You ain't
Yeah.
hurting me. I'm
Right?
fine.
But I needed your company to survive. Like, what did she think it was going to happen?
Hey, go, bye, sweetie, and Godspeed. Go forth with the wind. I don't, I because and the sad thing about it, family called, and said, well, we told you. I said, but you know what, it's not about what you told me, and she had to show it to me. I can't go off of what your experience with her. I wanted to see it for myself, and she did. She showed me exact. She was the exact same person with
Mm-hmm.
you and you and you. She was with that, she was with me. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. And
Yeah.
thank you for showing me your true self. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you know, right?
And now, yeah, yeah. Now I know it was confirmation, you know, that I could not have the open heart with her. Now, with my other sister, that one, she could come up in here and lay all day. She could that I connected with. She could come because I know that girl gonna cook. She gonna clean. She gonna do something. Look, and she's gonna be out cleaning up everybody else's house, my house. That's her
Yes.
spirit. That's
Mm-hmm.
her. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Sweat
but
equity.
yeah.
You got to put something in it. Like, show me that you
Ooh,
appreciate the fact that I let you stay here. It doesn't have to be money. It just has to be some proof
yes,
that you recognize I don't have to do this.
yes,
Appreciate.
exactly.
Here you go again.
Oh,
Honesty.
God.
Appreciate.
She said
Come
another
on.
cuss word. She saying another cuss word. Shame
Yeah.
on you.
Girl, I
Shame,
won't even say
shame.
accountability or this whole stream is going to get banned. I won't even go there. Don't worry about it.
Ooh, ooh. Yeah, it is hard, y'all. It is. It's challenging. But I had never had a problem with before letting friends, chosen family, having, come staying with me, even when I was married.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I had a friend with a daughter, that's what I was mentioning, came and stayed with me twice. And so never had a problem until it came to family.
Yep. See?
So no, I don't know what it is. No, no. When it came to blood family, um, yeah, that's when there was a problem. Yep.
Mhm. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, never, you don't do business with family. To me, giving someone a temporary contract to live in your home qualifies as business, and it
Mhm,
cannot happen. No, no.
mhm.
unless you don't mind that they never ever leave. And that's why I said I got my
Me,
two girls. I
yeah.
don't mind that they never leave. If they could stay in my house literally forever, I would be fine. We would have days we get on each other's nerves, but it would be fine. My best friend in the world, when we were like 16, 17, we lived together at my mom's house because she was in the system. And then the
Mhm.
things were coming up on her turning 18, and then basically they kicked her out without, like, just, hey, you face out of the system, goodbye. Oh yeah, you know all that money you were saving for me, can I have that? Oh yeah, we spent that already, like, gone. And
Mhm.
yeah, I just kicked her out. And there's no recourse, of course, so it was like she had stayed with us for a couple years, right? So I know I could live with her, and I know how she acts. She honestly, she's more appreciative to have somewhere to live than I am. Like, she's more likely to cook,
Mhm.
clean, and just do everything in general. Like, I would be so annoyed. I would wake up on a Sunday after we went out partying on the Saturday. I wake up to the smell of bacon. I'd be like, bacon, hear some reggae music playing. And I open my eyes and I see her at the computer. She's kind of dancing and she's like, okay, get ready. Breakfast is almost ready. And I'm like, bacon. I'm all excited because I know she'll make me a special bacon sandwich because I can't eat eggs and stuff. I'm excited, right?
Mhm.
And then I get down the stairs and then she gives me the food. And I sit there with my miserable face and my cheese and my bacon and tomato. I'm eating this. I'm loving this. She's like, all right, great. So hurry up and finish your breakfast because we've got the list for cleaning chores today. And so you're doing this side. I'm doing this side. Your name's next to all of your chores. And you just check them off when you're done. Excuse you? Like, we were like 17, right? And she was already doing these types of things. This is the way she is. She's I'm like, well, hold on. Are you trying to tell me what I have to clean in my house? I ain't cleaning nothing today. Your mom works hard and blah. I don't care if my mom works. Man, I just partied last night, right? Meanwhile, she didn't care. Trust me, we cleaned that day. She did not care. She's like, look, I made a great list for us to clean to. She made sure because she knew there was no way I was going to do this, but she figured out how to talk me into things when we were teenagers, right? So she's gonna feed me, she make me nice and happy, play all my favorite songs, blah 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 blah, and just irritate me gently while forcing me into the right direction to clean the toilet or whatever, right? But the point is, she's that kind of person. I would She could live in my house forever. And plus she has my godson, and I love that kid more than I love life. Um, it's like people like that. You're like, yeah, I would give you any kind of shot. She doesn't need anyone's shot because she's so damn diligent, but I would give her any kind of shot. You know what I mean? My friend who I said I literally stepped into her body to help her through college. I would let her live with me. Her and all three of her kids. You know what I mean? And two of them are very small. Why? Because of her heart. She will sacrifice herself for the sake of everyone else. She's just like me in that way. She wants to make everyone else smile and make people happy and stuff like that. She doesn't want anyone to ever feel like, they're taken advantage of. And, she's the kind of person where you drive her somewhere and it's a 5-minute drive. She tries to give you like $30 gas money. And it's like a fight. And then she'll like hide it in my car so I don't see that she left me the money. Like, she's that kind of person. Right. So I'm like, those are the kinds of spirits where you're like, those people deserve a chance in life. I feel like there are some types of people where we waste our time and energy and chances on them and they don't deserve it. And so by the time a good egg comes around, we're all out of chances for them or we're all out of space for them. And, it's like it's because the users and manipulators got that chance.
That's an excellent note to end on, and I agree with you. Um, Thank you, everyone, for coming to the show. I appreciate it. I'm sure some of you guys had some stories out there you didn't want to join, but that's fine. I appreciate your participation in the chat room. Um, Not sure about streaming tomorrow. I was doing the what you call it? What did I call it? My reactions to the articles. But I find myself doing some other things on Saturday, so it's actually me. It's not the fact that I don't want to. So yes, it's already over, Don Teasy. Next time you got to tell us about the person that wouldn't leave your house.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you all for coming. I do appreciate it. And As of now, I'll say I would see you next week. Thank you for those who contributed to the channel. Happy birthday to those who had a birthday this week and for next week. Also, thanks, Regina. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for sharing your story. Hopefully, all
Mhm.
that we've said today can help someone, including the person who wrote the letter. And until next time, peace, everyone.
All right. Cheers, y'all.